yesterday was a marvelous day. We traveled all the way from Mariba up to Horn Island, then over to Daru along the coastal area of Papua New Guinea, and then from there we went directly to Lake Murray region and then began a community relations engagement tour. Basically just letting the communities know how grateful we are. Terry Fahe, our water development engineer, has been very busy since January building infrastructure in the Lake Murray area, working with the communities, working with SDP and their teams to help put infrastructure. And the infrastructure I'm talking about are floating docks, which will allow the aircraft to land on the water and then come up alongside, tie off to the dock, and then people can get on and off safely and securely. So they've been building this new infrastructure that's not there in that area. So our way of just saying thank you to the communities and to give them a feel and a sense of what's to come was to fly and visit all the different communities and touch down on the water and wave to them. Or at two places, we were able to just get out and say thank you and shake hands with the leaders of the communities. And at every location, we had hundreds of people we could see on the shorelines, or we met them face to face. And so I think it went over very well.
This is not the first time the float plane has been in the country. MAF had one early in the 60s or 70s, I believe, also called P2 Wet. And some of the older folks in the community of Lake Murray remember that plane. And we actually ended up picking the same docking locations as the previous airplane. So some of the older folks were saying, we're really excited to see. We've only been able to share stories with our children and they have no idea what we're talking about. But today they understand, and today they know that we have access. If we have snake bite or we have a mother giving birth and there's a problem, we have access, we can call. Instead of the long dinghy rides in the boat or in the canoe, we have an opportunity now. So my role as a civil engineer, I have a background in water surveying, and with a new program and a float plane coming in, there was a lot of concern about how that would work. So as one of the ways of minimizing risk, we decided to do a water surveying program. So we have some sonar surveying equipment that we use to measure the depth of the water, which helps us identify underwater obstacles. So for the past 5 months, we've been underwater surveying numerous locations, looking for adequate landing sites.
I think this season definitely highlights the need for a seaplane in PNG. I mean, obviously there's PNG on the Sepik, there's a lot of rivers, and then on the south side in Western and Gulf Province, there's a lot of rivers. And so just having an aircraft that can reach those communities in need, that we have runways in a lot of those communities, but there are also a lot of communities that do not have access to airstrips. And just looking at the infrastructure in Western Province, we don't have the road network like you do in other areas of the country and stuff like that. So getting from one, but the seaplane, you can literally go from one village to another in a matter of minutes, not tens of minutes, but maybe 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. And so being able to hop around like that and drop off the healthcare teams or for any other types of development, humanitarian or mission work, I think will open people's eyes about how to use the aircraft as a tool to serve different areas of the country. So I think it's kind of like it's like a new chapter. It's a new chapter now that we can actually allow ourselves to think, okay, how can we do this? And that's exciting to me because I really love using seaplanes to help serve people in need, and I think this is a great opportunity.
This project is not at all finished. This is just the beginning. So now we have the opportunity to go back to these communities, and now they understand what we're doing. So we can talk with them about where they would like to see the docks finally positioned. Right now they're sitting there floating, but they weren't really sure what they're for. So now they're going to have discussions about where we can actually permanently fix these docks. So that'll be a next step. And then we're going to start going to more and more communities. Currently we have 6 locations picked, 5 on Lake Murray and 1 in Balimo area. And then over the next months and years, we'll be phasing into likely 24 more locations. So the last couple of days have actually been pretty emotional for me. I was excited to see it, and it's been a long time coming. We've had a lot of setbacks and challenges, But seeing the plane come over the cell phone tower in Lake Murray, some tears came to my eyes. And again, today as we were pulling in and seeing all the cheering MAF staff here in Hagen, again, the tears started to roll. So it's been an emotional couple days.